Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and compliments of the season. I'm sure everyone enjoyed their Christmas and New Year break because I did. In as much as I was so busy with my clients' orders, I still created time for myself. Also, I'm going to show you how I'm going to cast on and cast off. I've been having so many questions. How do I cast on? How do I cast off whenever I'm knitting? So I'm going to show you now, which is very easy. I have different ways of casting on and casting off. I'm going to show you two ways of casting on and casting off shortly. So let's start the work. So for me to start, there is a decimal point at the middle. So for every machine you get, you always see point zero. Point zero is for you to indicate the left from your right. And it's very easy to see because it's very bold. So now I'm going to bring out stitches 40 from both sides. So whatever I'm bringing out from my left hand side, I'm going to bring it out from my right hand side. So now before then, I'm going to use my carriage. I'm going to switch it to tension 5. I really love to use tension 5 because it sits well for me when it comes to me casting on and doubling. So I always use tension 5. Also, I am going to, I don't know if you can see it. Okay, yes. Also, I'm going to alternate my work using my selector. So now I've changed my tension up to tension 5. I am going to bring out stitches 40. That's 40 needles. Some people call it stitches, some people call it needles. So whichever one you feel is fine by you, it's okay. So I'm going to bring out 40. So it's going to show me 4 here. So 4 means 40. So in between 3 to 4 is 10. We have 10 needles. That's what is making it 40. So I'm going to bring out 40 here by my left side. Now for my right side, I will also bring out 40. Now I have identified it with 40 using my selector. Don't forget I said I'm going to alternate. This is 1 by 1. And for me to alternate, most times what I do is I don't touch the very first needle. I don't touch it. I always start from the second. So because I am not touching the very first one, the last one will go back to position A. So this is it. I leave the very first one and I move it to the next. So I'm taking it back to position A. Can you see it? You can use the back part to take it to position A. So now I've already identified the stitches that I want to work with on needles, and they are also in position D. So for a silver machine, you will see A, B, C, D by the edge of your machine. So this is already in position D. Now I have identified what I want to work with, and I'm going to start next. So now that I've already identified it, I'm going to use the back of my selector to take it to position C. So this is one of the methods as to how I cast on. Now that I've taken it to position C, I'm going to use my brush to open the clips for easy passage whenever I want to cast on. It's very easy to do. Now that I have done that, I'm going to use my comb. So this comb is for stitches 50. So I'm going to place it well. Can you see this? I'm going to place it well. Then you lock it. After you lock it, your yarn, I'm using one of my wasted yarn. That is what I'm using at the moment. I'm using one of my wasted yarn. And for you to pass it, you have to pass it through your antenna. There is a process for everything. So you pass it through your antenna, then your antenna disc, pass it here, pass it here, then you will pass it here. So now you're going to open it, put it inside, then close it. There is a circle inside, so your yarn has to pass through the circle. Now the very first step as to how to cast on is for you to drag enough excess wool, then pass it through the open stitches. Now whenever you do this, you make sure you have enough excess wool here, then you start casting on. And how to cast on is you are taking it from C to B. You do that one after the other. You are taking it from C to B, C to B. You do that smoothly for easy passage, like what I am doing. C to B. You'll do that till you get to the last stitch, one after the other, one after the other. So once you do that, the remaining excess wool you have here, you drag it back. You can see it forming that straight line. Then you unhang your comb by opening both sides, then take it down. It's very easy to do. Now you will notice that it's carrying all of them, and the rest are carrying how many? 2 each. You use your selector to gauge them very well, then you remove it and take just 2. The reason why you are doing this is to avoid excess wool when you are knitting. So this is the very first step as to how to cast on. Can you see how neat it looks? Once you are done casting on, the next thing you are going to do is to knit to a certain number. Now, because this is just an example that I'm making, I'm going to knit 40 times. You make sure your row counter is showing 0, 0, 0, and your tension hub is in tension 5, as I said before. Then I start knitting. So now I have gotten to 40 rows showing on my row counter. So the next step that I'm going to do is to bring out the ones in position A. I'm going to drag them to position C using my selector. I will drag them to position C. Now that I have dragged them to position C, the next thing that I'm going to do is to double. And how will I double? This very first one we casted on, that you can see that it looks so neat. It's very easy for you to see. Now we are going to double. And how am I going to double? You make sure you take them inside the comb so it doesn't drop. Then use your transfer tool. Then you come here. Take it into the next one. Now you can see how it looks like now. Then you can either start from the left hand side or from the right hand side, whichever one you feel is fine by you. That's cool. So note by, sorry, I'm also left-handed, so you may see the way I walk. It's actually different. But whichever hand you feel is okay by you, you can use it. But because I am left-handed, I like to start from here. I can also start from here, whichever one is fine. Then you take it into the ones we brought out. You can see the ones we casted on. You can see how neat it looks. So you just take it inside using your transfer tool, one after the other, one after the other. At first, I was using my single transfer, but now I'm going to use my triple transfer. This makes my work very fast, and this is how I'm going to do it. Now you can see it's carrying 2, so the very middle one you are seeing here is for the one in position B, so you don't have to touch the one in position B. Then you take it inside the stitch, move to the next one. So you can see I'm doing 2 in 1 instead of 1 in 1. 2 in 1. You can see it makes my work faster. So now that I am done with this is how I'm going to cast off. And for me to cast off, you have to be very careful. I'm trying to drag everything out, then take them back again to position C. Now I want to cast out. I love to use needle to cast out because it makes my work stretchy. So this is it, one after the other. Take it inside. Use your needle to take it inside from the stitch to the needle. So you continue to do this till you get to the extreme end. That's the last stitch. I am almost done. So this is it. Now when you are done, you use your selector to take everything back to position A. Can you see? Can you see how stretchy it looks? So this is the very last one.